Good morning, YouTube, and welcome back. It's been a while since I've posted anything, and sorry for that, unless that's good news. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I'm still doing it. So yeah, last video, you might recall that I mentioned that I've gone and bought myself a new boat, and I did a thing. They say that the happiest days with regards to boat owning is the day that you buy a boat and the day that you sell a boat. I didn't sell the old boat, I just went and bought a new boat, which is silly, but anyway, we're here now. So I'll tell you how it all came about anyway, but this is the moment that I went and bought the boat, and yeah, this was the good feeling of buying a boat. I just bought a new boat. Yeah, I just gone and bought a 29-foot 1980 Westerly Konsort. So, yeah, wow. I've got to sell Mexica now. Oh, wow, right. In that case, there's loads of things to show you. There's a couple of jobs to do on the new boat as well, but I'll do a little tour of that one. And I am buzzing. I'm absolutely buzzing. Yeah. Right, guys, I've got to shoot. I'm making no sense because I'm going to start babbling in a minute. I will catch you guys soon. See you on the flip side. And there you have it. That's the feeling you get when you buy a boat. One day I'll record how it feels to sell a boat. But until then, hey, let's take you on a little tour around the boat and on this new one, and let's get into it. So her name is Crimond of White. I'll tell you a bit more about that name in a minute, but she is a 29-foot 1980 Westerly Konsort. So yeah, she's bilge keel. Draft is about 1 meter draft. Air draft, I don't know, just try not to hit any bridges. I'll have to figure that one out. Yeah, so she's lovely. She's got a bit of work to do, don't get me wrong. I'll take you through that in a minute. But so yeah, let's take you on deck and see what we got on deck. So here we are, out on deck. Yeah, she's got lots of space. She's got lots of space. She's got nice wide gunnels, which was much nicer than with the Leisure 23, where I felt like I was kind of walking a tightrope a little bit. And you know, at the age of 44 years young, I'm not as agile as I used to be. So that was a selling point for me. It was like, that was good. Plenty of space on deck, plenty of space for, I think my wife has kind of commandeered that place up by the splash, by the spray hood, and she's got her like reading spot, so she's done that. But saying that, she hasn't even she's come onto the boat once whilst it was moored up. She's waiting for me to finish all my qualifications, and then not sink, and then she might trust me. So who knows? She might come on board. Who knows? But yeah, so like I said, loads of space. All of the lines go straight back into the cockpit as well. So she's set up for shorthand sailing, which was another major thing for me. The Leisure 23 Mexica wasn't set up for that. So it's something I wanted to do. I knew that, you know, I'd be kind of like having to beg steal and borrow able bodies to kind of come out with me, but I didn't want to take people out until I was a bit more familiar with sailing and, you know, the boat and what have you, because they've all got families to go home to, and, you know, so I'm just testing out my close mates as guinea pigs at the moment. So, well, those ones that have done things like competent crew and what have you, so at least they've got a little bit of knowledge about them. But yeah, so that was the thinking behind that. Right, let's take you up to the bow. So we're at the bow, and I've got a manual anchor winch. When I came on board for the first time, when the previous owner brought me on board, he showed me this, and he was explaining like how to kind of use it, and I was just nodding and just saying, yeah, oh, okay, cool. No idea whatsoever what he was talking about. But we took her out a couple of weeks ago and got to play around with it, and it's literally it's a lifesaver, you know. It's much better than kind of having to yank and haul an anchor up, you know, when you're sat at the bow in swell. So it's much safer as well in that sense. So that was a great one. So this one, unfortunately, is manual at the moment. It's not automatic. So you know, at the moment I'm old and lazy, I guess. So I'll use this one because it wouldn't do me any harm to get a bit of exercise to keep the dad bod in shape. Maybe one day, if I strike it rich, I'll look about getting maybe one of the electric ones and put that on. But to tell you the truth, this works absolutely fine, and she's great. Don't know if you can see this, but obviously here at the moment, the previous owner had started repainting the deck. She originally was kind of blue. I've got 2 or 3 different shades of blue at the moment going across the deck, which is all kind of like starting to, you know, come off and what have you, and you know, but yeah, I like the grey, the light grey, so I'm probably going to continue with that. That's going to be a winter job, so that's one of my jobs to do, is to repaint the whole deck. So we got jib on there at the moment, obviously on a rolling furler, so that's that. Now, she's not the biggest jib, but when I took her out before, I got about 5.5 knots just on the jib, so that was pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with that. So, you know, if I get a bigger Genoa on there, who knows what sort of speed she can get up to. It does say that the Westerly's got about a 6 knot cruising speed, so don't know what truth is in that or not, but yeah, if you've got a Westerly, let me know. Okay, cool. Let's take you to the cockpit. Before I do that, I want to show you my sexy sail case. Look at that. Ooh. So yeah, so there's my mainsail. So I'm bobbing around a bit. Fishing boats are coming back. They're just flying through here. One of them slowed down. The other one just flew past. So yeah. Mainsail, she's a slab reef. Yeah, so typical slab reefing sail. Like I said, all lines go aft to the cockpit. So yeah, but this is new and swanky. It's lovely because you can just like drop the mainsail, just folds away, and you just sandwich her in a little thing, and good to go. Okay, right, now to the cockpit. And here we are in the cockpit. So we got shore power here, obviously going in, got 230 sockets. I've got obviously the compass there, GPS, which doesn't work. I've got I'm gonna have to check that one out because it's not giving me a reading at all for GPS, so I'll just figure that one out. Obviously got your winch handles here. This is my autopilot, so you got your auto helm there. In here you got your depth sounder, so that's fine. And then I've got my wind gauge here, which will show me the speed of the wind and the gusts, but it won't tell me the direction. But it's fine because I can just look up at the mast and check the vane, so that's not a massive issue at all. Loads of space in the cockpit as well. This is another thing which is kind of quite nice. Going from a Leisure 23 to this, I think the first time that I kind of went out with my mates, myself and two of my mates, when we went over to Tenby on the Tenby trip that shall not be talked about, when we went out there, it was like 3 men in a bathtub, so it was cozy, you know. So but yeah, so this is nice, it's spacious. Also got cushions, so that's pretty cool. Got little cushions in there, which, you know, when you're kind of just cruising along, it's nice and comfy. And I tell you, the motion of the ocean, well, it just puts me to sleep. It really does, which is pretty dangerous actually. So you don't want to be falling asleep when you're on your own. So cool. Yeah, let's just spin you around and show you what the rest of it's like. So here we have obviously the cockpit again. This is this is the stern, obviously. You got your throttle lever there. Now this is the first time I've had a single throttle lever. My other boat had a kind of like two, one for the gearbox and the other one for throttle. When I first got this boat and took it out, I thought that you had to push the red button in to engage like drive shaft or something like that. So I was pushing the red button in and then pushing the throttle forward, and obviously the engine was revving, but it wasn't going anywhere. So I couldn't understand what was going on, and it wasn't until I sort of like did a bit of trial and error, and it just popped. It's spring loaded, isn't it? So it just popped out, and then I pushed it forward and realized that we were going forward and went, oh, I had it in reverse. But anyway, that was a trial and error moment, silly mistake. But yeah, so that was that. So in the back here then we got all the information about the engine, telling you how many knots you're doing, and like obviously how many hours the engine's done. You got your fuel gauge there, you got your manual bilge pump right here. I'll probably put an auto bilge pump in anyway, just to cover myself, because we've got a nice 100 watt solar panel off the back there, so that always like nice and fully charged and stuff, so I can just trickle feed it off that. In here then we've got the gas, so your gas is in there, and then obviously your tiller, and then yeah, and obviously your lines into your mainsail going up there. So yeah, that in a nutshell is pretty much it. You obviously and the davits, got the davits there. I'm hoping to get those utilized at some point and get myself a new dinghy, so I can kind of like hang it off the davits. But that's for another day. But I'll have to figure out how to work all that out. But come with me as I learn how to do this sailing thing. Cool, yeah. Let's go inside. So here we are, like I said, in the saloon. Previous owner has done a lot of work with regards to kind of like starting to fix her up a little bit, but obviously wanted to get rid of the boat and, well, but sell the boat and what have you. But he's done some work with regards to fixing her up, things like, you know, new cushions, you know. So, and I like this. Yeah, it's nice. So I can work with that. Obviously the curtains match. So that's all good. When I heard about this boat maybe being sold, by chance, one day I was just down in the boatyard and the guy turned up, and you know, he mentioned he was like maybe selling it, and I said, oh, can come and have a look? And he said, yeah, sure. And she hadn't been put in the water yet at the moment. But he said, yeah, come and have a look. And I stepped down into this saloon, and it was like, from being on a 23 foot, and I know that she's only 6 foot more, but what you get with that extra 6 foot in a consort is the width as well. So yeah, her you know, the width you got with her is, she's really spacious, really spacious. You know, I'm not the tallest person in the world, but there's a nice bit of headroom here. You can walk around, it feels spacious, you know, obviously when it's less cluttered. But yeah, and that was another thing for me, which was like a bit of a major selling point, is the fact that I felt like this was gonna be, this would work for me and my family, you know. That's what I was thinking, like long term, is I need something bigger. You know, I've got you know, I've got 2 older stepsons and then 3 kids of my own, which are growing up way too quick. So, you know, I want to be able to take my family out at times, you know, and I need that space. So, you know, so we're not on top of each other. So that's cool. So this was good. This was good. Cool. Right, let's show you around. So this seating area actually pulls out. I've clamped it down there at the moment, but this will actually pull out into a double kind of sleeping area. So this becomes a double bed. The one thing I do have to do is cut some more ply, because I think that the ply is missing. So I need to kind of cut some more ply, which I need to put under there. And then that sort of like sits across here, and yeah, so you've got a double here. The opposite side, then you've got a single. All right, so that's that. Yeah, in the stern, I'll show you this. So here, take you down here. So in this there, you got a little quarter berth there. So that's nice. It's decent size there for a grumpy teenager. So that's his plan. I just noticed there's actually a locker back there. I've never seen. What's in that locker? Sorry, I'm gonna have to figure this out now, because I need to check this out. This is crazy. What's in that locker? I've never seen this locker before. Ow! Oh my god! Oh, what's in here? Oh, ow! That's my head. No way. Okay. So it looks. My fuel tank and some. I don't even know what that is. I don't know. I can't see. Okay, cool. Wires, cables. Oh. All right. Oh, okay, cool. That was fun. Oh my god, I'm so fat. Okay. I'm getting out of here, and I'll see you once I get out. Well, that was exciting. Cool. So, yeah, like I said, so you got a little quarter berth there, and there's also some space out the back. Over to my nav station. So yeah, so nav station here. I got my. I went and bought myself like two charts of like South Wales area and the Bristol Channel, and then didn't realise. But when I actually bought the boat, it came with loads of charts. I was like a kid in the candy store. I was going through all the charts, and I was like, this is amazing. Like just going through the charts and stuff. So yeah, so I got the charts there. Inside I got a tidal stream atlas. So that's all sorted. I've got everything I need there. I've got my tablet here for my charts. Got my paper charts. VHF radio up here. You got your sockets and stuff like that. Got my AIS there. There's the GPS again. I need to figure that one out because it's not working at the moment. There's my battery console to show me what I've got coming out of my solar panels and what I have my usage and stuff. This is my diesel heater, which actually comes out from down here. There you go. So it comes down there, which you activate from the back locker, which is, yeah. So yes, that's, oh, sugar. I need to put that piece of ply back in so I don't fall down into the, into there. Cool. And then here I've got my, Navtex. There you go. Yes, which gives you weather updates, I think, something like that. In here, in there are a load of instruction guides and manuals which I need to familiarize myself with, I think. But yeah, so for now, I'm just working it all out. Now, let's take you to the galley. And over to the galley. Cool. So we got obviously sink, a little foot pump down here for your water. There you go. So you got a water pump there. You got your stove here on a gimbal. Now at the moment the only thing that's not working on here is the oven for some reason, but I'll get that fixed. Loads of space for things like, you know, your cups and your pots and your pans and what have you, and space in the cupboards. Now these are fine. This one's really stiff. Oh my god, really stiff. So that all needs doing. You got your drawers down here. So for your cutlery and what have you. And then this. This is a job I'm not looking forward to. I'm not going to open this up because I did it once and I put my head in to see if it was a fridge or a freezer and realised it's a box full of the foulest smell known to man. For those of you that are as old as me, back in, oh my gosh, must have been like the mid 80s to late 80s. I think it was Burger King or some other sort of fast food chain used to do, there was a Ghostbusters, I think it was Ghostbusters 2 had come out. And one of the merchandise, one of the toys was you had this little, I think it was like a canister or something like that, and you weren't supposed to open it because there was like a ghost inside. And I remember having that on the side of my bed as a kid and being petrified to actually open it just in case there was some sort of evil inside. And this thing is giving me PTSD. Literally, it's just air inside, but my days, that's some foul air. So that needs... well, it needs an exorcism before it needs lemon bleach taken to it. But yeah, on all jokes aside, that's something I'm going to sort out. I'm going to sort out all that. You can see here on the teak, it's kind of the wearing of the, you know, of this. That's going to be a, you know, sand back and kind of re-oil a lot of this wood because, you know, it's all in the galley. Here, just above the engine compartment, it's here, you know, it's all everywhere. This looks like it's had some water coming in here. Now another thing to note here is that all the windows, I don't know if you can see this properly, there you go, you can see it here now, they're all crazed, yeah, so they're all like this. So I'm gonna have to probably take all those out at some point and renew the perspex in it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and even getting ahead of myself though, but in the V-berth, you can see the V-berth as well. Yeah, here. All right, okay, so even the V-berth hatch is all like that. So that's another job that needs to be done. Right. Headlining. So, if you know, you know, but the Westerly is known for its Westerly droop. It's an unfortunate name for it. But yeah, so all of this kind of like headlining just deteriorates over time, and you know, it just comes away. Now, there has been an attempt to put some kind of carpet on the back here, but I'm gonna probably replace it with some four-way stretch, which in all fairness the previous owner has started to do in the V-berth, which I'll show you in a minute now, and it looks quite nice actually. So that's one thing that I'm gonna have to do, is pull all this, the headlining off, sand it all back down, and then kind of do all the four-way stretch to get it nice. But I don't mind doing that. I kind of find that quite relaxing. When I did it on Maxika, it was, you know, I really kind of like, I was like, oh, it's quite nice actually. But it's pretty much everywhere. It's in the saloon, it's in that, it's in the stern, it's in the quarter berth to the stern, and it's in, I need to finish off the V-berth as well. So it's pretty much the whole boat that needs to be looked at, but that's something I'm prepared to do. And it also means that by stripping it all back, I've got some plans to kind of put some new lighting in on some new sockets, you know, things that'll work for me. So if I'm deciding to kind of go anchor offshore somewhere, you know, I've got like a USB for my phone and stuff while I'm lying in bed, you know, little things like that. So yeah, so it's not the end of the world, and I knew what I was kind of getting into when I bought the boat. But yeah, this is all good. Here we have a wet locker. So obviously all your wet clothing and stuff like that can kind of go in there. It all drips down into the bilge, and then obviously pumped out the bilge then. But yeah, so we've got loads of safety lines here, a couple of like life buoyancy aids and what have you. Okay, I had to sort this out because I don't know if you can see there, but yeah, there's a bit of, yeah, that needs to be taken out, repainted, sanded back, repainted, primed, repainted. You know what I'm trying to say. But that needs to get done. But underneath it, one thing which was an absolute lifesaver is this guy's put in a fridge freezer in here, which works fantastically well in all fairness. So yeah, got all the essentials. Got your shore leave, and you know, yeah, some non-alcoholic beer as well. So yeah, that's all good. So yeah, so that's fantastic. Which reminds me, I'm going out tomorrow, which means that I need to go and buy myself some more milk. Cool. Cool. Into the V-berth. Lovely spacious V-berth. Really nice. Loads of space. At the moment, it doesn't look like it at the moment because I've literally put loads of stuff from my other boat in here. So I've got all my pots and pans and cooking stuff. There's some mild stuff in here, which is like things like my safety lines and what have you, and you know, so and like cork bungs. I got just sails upon sails in here. You know, I've got obviously the mainsail and then the jib on there at the moment. I've still got another genoa and another jib and two mainsails as spare. And I've also got somewhere, I think under here somewhere, I think there's a cruising chute as well, which I have never used. I have no idea how to set up, but I'm going to try it out. So you're going to be with me for that one, because I'm not doing that alone. So cool. Yeah, cruising chute. Like I say, you can see where, you know, like the previous owners started doing some four-way stretch in here. Tell you what I do like is that he started putting this insulation in there. That's nice. I do like that. So I'm going to continue with that. But yeah, so V-berth. Nice. And then onto the heads. Now the heads, again, it's, you know, it's a work in progress, definitely. Okay, this needs work. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. It just needs to be looked after and sorted out. So yeah, that's pretty much everything apart from the engine. So as we can see, so in here we've got I think she's a Buka DV20. I think she's a 24 or 26 horsepower Buka. So I've never had that, but I'm telling you now, she starts on a button. You know, on the button. She's yeah, she's been good so far. I only ever had one issue, which was the fact that the engine temperature light came on when I took her out for the first time. And I was thinking, oh God, what's going on here now? And I checked it off the stern, and there was water coming out, and it was sputtering out. It's fine. I just hadn't opened the seacock enough, so there wasn't enough water going through. Did that, let her run for a little bit. She was absolutely perfectly fine. So yeah. One thing I did find though, I don't know if you've come across this or not, but every now and again, when I put her on high revs, I'd have white smoke coming out the back. Now this was quite thick white smoke at times, but then when I bring the revs back to, you know, to not be full on power, that white smoke kind of disappears, and she's just puttering away quite nicely. Do you mean? So if you know what that might be, or if you've got any tips with that, can you please put them in the comments and let me know. So yeah, so that is her. So I think the only thing to talk about now is the this, there you go, like say headlining and some of this, you know, the rewiring. This has been, you know, attempted, but I obviously need to kind of do that again. So I need to get some of these down, which is fine because half the job is done for me because I want to run wires back anyway into the V berth. So that's really good. Obviously there's a couple as well that run. I can see them just here, creeping through there. You know, these are things that I'm just gonna get to do. I'm really looking forward to I'm really looking forward to working on her in the winter, to say the truth. So yeah, watch this space. Unfortunately, there will be some more kind of DIY kind of stuff coming up. Sorry if that's not what you want. You know, like I said before, you know, the channel's called Sailing Mac Daddy, and you haven't even really seen any sailing yet. But that's going to change. So there will be a couple of days out that I've got planned. So obviously, you know, weather and tide permitting. But yeah, watch this space. Cool, let's go back on deck and I'll tell you a little bit about the name. So, as I said previously, her name is Crimond of White. And when you think about the name, I'm torn here. I'm really torn. Crimond of White means nothing to me, but it does have some sort of like British heritage significance, if that makes sense. So obviously with Crimond, aside from Crimond being a kind of little town up in Aberdeenshire in Scotland, Crimond is the music which is played over The Lord Is My Shepherd, which is one of the Psalms. I cannot remember, sorry. Anyway, but it's a psalm which was obviously played at Queen Elizabeth's, the late Queen Elizabeth's wedding, and more recently, unfortunately, in 2022, in her funeral. So it's got that kind of link there with regards to the British monarchy and what have you. And then Crimond of White, obviously the Isle of Wight, is kind of a well-known kind of area for its kind of sailing, especially in Cowes, which ironically this boat was from. So Cowes Week is one of the most kind of like well-known kind of sailing regattas events in the British Isles. So it has, you know, links not only to kind of like British heritage but also to sailing heritage, I suppose, to a certain extent. So in that sense, you know, I kind of like it. It's kind of nice, but like I said, it's kind of I kind of want to put my own stamp on this boat. Now I've seen and I've read through, like, you know, the procedure, the ceremony to kind of renaming a boat, and you've got to kind of get rid of everything to do with the name of the boat from the boat. I'm not sure if you got to get rid of all the paperwork as well. I hope not, because that would be a real shame. But I'm not sure about that one. If you do know, let me know in the comments. I was thinking about renaming the boat, and obviously giving a, you know, some sort of a ceremonial drink to Poseidon and what have you. But I don't know. I don't know whether that's just a long-winded ceremony that's going to get me into. And I'm pretty superstitious at the best of times, so so I don't want to tempt any fate, if that makes sense. But I don't know what to do. What do you think? Do I do something which is kind of more personal to me? This is obviously a boat that I'm going to keep for a while. It's something I'm going to be putting a lot of my time and energy and money into, to fix her up into what I want. Should it mean something to me, or should I stick with the name? What do you think? Yeah. Anyway, there she is, Crimond of White, for now. Maybe, who knows. Hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, hopefully next video I will be taking her out and you'll actually see her in action and see what she can do. So until next time, guys, thank you very much. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and yeah, let's keep at it, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.